Hey everyone, it's mid-November 2022 and welcome to another episode of Venture Forward, a video series about full-time mobile living, overland travel, and four-wheel drive exploration. In this episode, we're in the backcountry just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. We were in Moab for the past few weeks, and this past weekend we drove 7 hours southwest, and we ended up here. It got very cold very quickly this past week in Moab, and down here we're at least 20 degrees warmer. It's very nice. We set up base camp in our Winnebago Revel at a very familiar boondocking spot that I've been coming to for years. It's on BLM land in a lovely desert setting, only about 15 minutes from town. There's strong cell service, decent privacy, and plenty of outdoor recreation all around. While I've been to this spot maybe a dozen times, there are still countless four-wheel drive tracks to explore. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take the Jeep out, spend the night somewhere in the backcountry, and record some tracks on my GPS. Having just come from Moab, it's interesting to compare the Moab experience with the Arizona desert experience. Of course, the Arizona desert in general is a much larger area. But that being said, even if you're close to the city, it just feels like the Arizona desert can eat you, and you can disappear for 2 decades and make friends with a volleyball before someone finds you. On the other hand, Moab's backcountry is so well traveled that you can disappear for maybe 2 weeks until a mountain biker or an ATV stumbles upon you. And I'm just talking about camping along thoroughfares, nothing dangerous or life-threatening, although you should always use caution and let people know where you are. But I would say if you're into pure four-wheel drive exploration and discovery, Arizona's desert is for you. But if you're into wheeling and obstacles and phenomenal scenery, then Moab might be the destination of choice. Both places are stunningly beautiful in their own rights. I'm stopping just for a moment to take this in. This is a scenic switchback overlooking a canyon, and it is so quiet and peaceful. We have to stop every now and then and shut off our engines and just enjoy the surroundings. I found this old stone and concrete structure hidden away in the canyon. And it might have been a homestead. It might have been used for mining. I saw a very shallow cavity in the hillside behind the structure. There are a lot of names and dates scrawled into what remains of the concrete. And I haven't seen them all, but the oldest ones that I can read are in the 1960s. I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say this is from the mid-20th century, maybe early 20th century. When I picked this route on GAIA GPS, I was stoked. I thought, alright, this looks good. I think it's going to be a primitive cross-country route. My plan was to just keep going until it dumped me out on the pavement again sometime tomorrow, and then loop back to base camp. Well, my plans just got shot down by an official end-of-route post and a property boundary, so I have to turn around and backtrack. It happens, and that's quite alright because that's what exploration is all about. Dead ends are just new beginnings. I got a nice campsite tonight on a flat shelf just off to the side of a rugged BLM road track. There's not a fire ring here or anything, which is okay. I have no plans to make a campfire. It's just a good place to get some shut-eye for tonight. There's a sweeping 180-degree view, and I'm guessing this flat spot was made years ago by heavy equipment, probably for mining activity. The BLM road is by no means hardcore, but it is fairly degraded, and it will put your four-wheel drive system and your suspension to use. It's really hot in here. I have the gasoline heater on right now. It fired right up. was just watching TV on my iPad. It's nice and cozy in here. I don't know, it's really hot. I'm not going to be leaving the heater on, but it's nice to have it warm and toasty in here before bed. Feels like 85, 90 degrees. It's a lot of heater for a little Jeep, and it's not that cold out, maybe 40 degrees outside. The heater's priceless on nights where the temperature is well below freezing, and that's not tonight, so I'm not going to leave it on for much longer. And yes, the heater does still get clogged up at over 5,000 feet, but right now I'm only at 2,500 feet, so it runs great. I'm trying to be smooth, but I am failing. I just stowed the camper, and now I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday and keep exploring to the north. I think I see a route that'll dump me back out on the pavement, and then I'll loop back to base camp. I have a very rough section of trail coming up dead ahead, and it's far more challenging than I'm interested in. But it's in the way, there's no bypass, and I don't feel like backtracking. So I'm going to be very careful and do whatever it takes to get through it. I don't know though, it's going to take a really clean line. I'm going to have to get out and self-spot on this one. Get out as many times as you need. Well, it was exhausting, but I made it through that rock garden pretty cleanly. I did gently scuff the rear diff a couple times, but nothing to be concerned about. It would have been a lot uglier if I hadn't gotten out of the Jeep 40 times to check my situation. I would drive 3 feet, get out, check underneath, drive 3 more feet, get out again, check underneath. And that averted disaster a couple times, and it's really a test of patience more than anything. But as far as I was concerned, I wasn't in a rush. There was no one waiting on me, so I had all the time in the world. It was really imperative that I get through cleanly because the Jeep isn't up-armored at all. I'm into overland travel and exploration, and not as much four-wheeling, so I never really felt the need for up-armor. You know, skid plates and whatnot. And over the years, that hasn't been any problem. I'm not about to change my mind. However, if I keep running trails like this, I just might. Getting there. That wasn't so bad, now was it? Okay. Didn't seem that off camber. I found my way to pavement, and now I'm safely back at base camp. Yesterday and this morning, the tracks that I explored were colorful and varied, but fairly tame and suitable for a stock to lightly modified vehicle. The scenery was lovely, and there were interesting features and dispersed campsites all over the place. Then when I got to the rock garden, the experience went from scenic and relaxing to, well, nerve-wracking. The rocky section and all the terrain beyond it to the north, including a steep and awkward descent into a canyon, was very demanding. So if you do choose to retrace my footsteps, I recommend decent ground clearance, up armor, skid plates, and definitely go with a friend in another vehicle. I did enjoy myself, I did get through safely, but I should not have gone alone. You don't hear me say that often because I far prefer going out and exploring alone, but I also stay well within my comfort zone, and that trail was not it. Venture Forward is proudly supported by OK Four-Wheel Drive and also by Patreon. If you're interested in seeing where I've been, my detailed GPS data is available to Patreon subscribers, and I also have campsites and points of interest available on the THATCH app for iOS and Android. I'll put links to Patreon and THATCH in the description for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next week.